Have you ever been in a situation where two things that seem completely opposite are both true? You want to push back on something, and you also want to keep the relationship. You believe in a decision, and yet you have doubts about it. You're excited about a change, and also worried about what it will cost. Most of us have been taught that contradictions are problems to solve. Pick a side, make a decision, get clear. But what if the contradiction itself is the insight? What if the tension between the two or more opposing ideas is where the most useful thinking lives? Workplaces are built around certainty and consistency. Leaders are expected to have clear positions. Teams are supposed to reach consensus. Contradiction can look like confusion, weakness, or indecision. So when you have two valid but conflicting perspectives, or when someone holds a view that contradicts the prevailing wisdom, the instinct is to resolve it, merge it, or just push it to one side. But in doing so, we lose something, because the tension between the ideas isn't a bug. It's showing you that reality is more complex than either position fully captures. And the people who can hold that complexity, who can sit with the multiple truths at once and think clearly in the middle of that tension, those are the people who make better decisions. Weird Wisdom's third principle is about finding harmony in contradictions, not resolving them, harmonizing with them. And there's a big difference. Harmony here doesn't mean agreement or consensus. It means creating space for the conflicting ideas to coexist, so you can see what each one is pointing at. It means asking, what is each of these perspectives protecting? What is each one trying to get right? Here's an example. Think about position versus perspective. When you argue from position, you're trying to be right. The language sounds like, that won't work. We've always done it this way. You're missing the point. Position closes doors. When you speak from perspective, you're trying to understand. It sounds like, I see it this way. How about you? What might we be missing? Help me understand your thinking. Perspective opens doors. To shift from position to perspective doesn't mean abandoning your views. It means holding it lightly enough to be influenced by what someone else sees. And here's something interesting about language. English is full of contronyms, words that contain opposite meanings. To dust can mean to remove particles or to sprinkle them. To sanction can mean to approve or to punish. And oversight means monitoring or a failure to monitor. We navigate these contradictions effortlessly in language. We understand meaning from context without getting derailed by paradox. So here's a question. If our minds can hold linguistic contradictions comfortably, why do we struggle so much with contradiction in ideas, perspectives, or people? The answer often lies in what we're trying to do with the conversation. The goal is to win. Contradiction becomes a threat. If the goal is to understand, contradiction becomes a tool. Here's 3 ways this might show up practically. First one, in meetings, we're doing them all the time. When 2 members disagree, instead of moderating towards the middle ground, try asking them both, what is your concern pointing out? Often both positions are protecting something real. And naming those things separately opens more space than forcing a compromise. Second way, in your own thinking, when you notice internal contradictions, wanting to speak up, yet not wanting to rock the boat, don't rush to resolve it. Ask, what is each part of me trying to protect? That question often reveals more than the answer. And thirdly, in leadership, modelling the ability to hold contradiction, saying, I see two things that are both true here. It gives teams permission to do the same. It signals that nuance is not weakness, it's clear thinking. In Module 4 of the Using Weird Wisdom course, we go into this in real depth, including a workbook exercise where you write a short dialogue between two opposing parts of your thinking and let them both be right. I know, it sounds unusual, but it's surprisingly useful. Before the next video, here's something to try. Think of a disagreement you're currently in. It may just be a small one. Instead of asking, how do I make this other person see my point? Ask, what is their position pointing at that I might be missing? You don't have to agree. I'm just asking you to get curious. It's usually enough to move the whole conversation. Next time, we're talking about unconventional thinking and why the ideas that feel most out there are often the ones that move things forward. Me and the early morning birds. We'll see you then.